Steph Curry talking about the deficit that they now face, Natalie. 1-3.
1-3.
Oh, wow.
Feels familiar, doesn't it?
Okay, listen. Now, you know what? I don't know. Is it? See, I've heard Steph Curry give good answers before. Mm-hmm. They're insightful. I sit back and think about them like, oh, that's a good perspective. That was not a great answer. That was not a great answer because I don't believe Steph Curry and the Warriors. That's the Warriors, not the Warriors. The Warriors. They are a little worried. I don't believe they have a great answer for this situation. They're down to the late. They're down 3-1, or down 1-3 to be more accurate, to the Lakers in the Western Conference semifinals. Mm-hmm. Looks like the Lakers have their number, not just in this series. In the regular season, it was 3-1, and we're so used to saying, Natalie, 3-1 regular season means nothing. That means nothing. That is not predictive of what's to come in the postseason. However, in the last 8 games, Warriors, Lakers, the Lakers have won 6 of them. So are we starting to see a trend here, Natalie? Or
no, I
am
still
I
think,
overstating it?
Yeah, I think it's being overstated because, like, a number of the players who are playing right now didn't even play in those games, and those games were blowouts. Okay. Like, this series has actually been pretty close. I mean, each team had a blowout, but 2 of the games have been really close, right? So the teams are relatively even, but at the end of the game, the Lakers made the necessary plays that they needed to, and the Warriors didn't execute, and that's the difference, you know? And so you have to credit the Lakers, you know, for what they did, but I don't think this is a big, like, we got your number thing. And there's a number of things you can point to, candidly. You know, you pointed out that Mazzulla, was maybe hurting the Celtics. I think Steve Kerr is hurting the Warriors, and you and I have had this discussion, you know, throughout the season. You know, if you look at the first half of the game, the Warriors won, I think they ran something like 24, 26 pick and rolls. They were leading. I don't want to say that they had control of the game because obviously they lost, but they were leading, and it looked like they had found something with Gary Payton II, and then they went away from it in the second half. And Gary Payton II, where was he? Sitting on the bench, you know, like watching as things unfolded at the end, and they went away from that. And you have to question, like, why did you do that? And I have my thoughts around it, but the point is just that this was not something that they figured out. It wasn't Anthony Davis and LeBron out there beating them. It was, and you got to give him credit, Lonnie Walker. And that's
Lonnie Walker the 4th.
Yeah, if you lose to Lonnie Walker, you just got to tip your hat, right? That's not something you can say anybody anticipated. You can't game plan for. That would be like us, like, pulling a rabbit out of the hat and taking someone off our bench and just, like, you know, like what we did with Jermichael. And I think Michael Smith came on here and said, like, that's not going to last for more than one game. And it's not, you know, so, but you got to give them credit. The Lakers have had a player show up each game, you know, and the Warriors have not had that. They had D'Angelo Russell, and then they had Lonnie. They also had in the last game,
so,
you know, they have people that keep showing up.
Okay. All right, now listen. Steve Kerr has won 4 championships as a coach of the Warriors. Mm-hmm. He has. He took over a group that was ready to launch. Took that group over from Mark Jackson and got them across. Helped them get across that threshold to the championship realm. So you're saying Steve Kerr, if you had to break this down, because the headline, I don't know, I'm not putting these words in your mouth. Headline read one thing, and we had that headline up there. Put that headline up there again. That's a pretty stunning headline, if you ask me.
Which
the headline
one?
says, Steve Kerr deserves brunt of blame. Wow, wait a minute. Steve Kerr deserves the brunt of blame for Golden State's 3-1 hole. Wow. Now that's saying a lot. I can't say that. I can't say that. Are you willing to go that far? They wouldn't be down 3-1 if they had a different coach?
I think there's a 3-part answer here in terms of the blame, right? But I'm fine giving Kerr about a third of it. I am.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. A third of it, yeah,
and
sure.
I think
but maybe a third is still the brunt, though. maybe you don't give everybody else above 33%. So maybe it's still true, but it just sounds better when you say a third. When I think of the brunt, I think like 70%.
70%. Yeah,
55.
no.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, you and I have talked earlier this year, right, on this show. We heard about the organizational failures in terms of, the ownership dipping a little bit too much into decisions and things like that. And a lot of that is part of what the issue is, right? Like, we've talked about the Warriors' arrogance. You guys have talked about the fans' arrogance. I've brought it up before on my own, right? So this is not, something that's new, but it's like them thinking that they could do the two timelines. It's just proving that you probably can't. Like, if Steve Kerr feels like he cannot play Jonathan Kuminga, and I would argue part of the reason he can't play Jonathan Kuminga is because he mismanaged his development. But if he feels that he cannot put a lottery pick on the floor right now, and he can't go to any young guy, right, then that's organizational failure. That's roster construction, right? And that's part of the problem. So they also get a third of this, right? And then this is the part, Michael, that I will concede that I underestimated or overestimated.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Take a time here. Wait a minute. Give me a drink. Make it something strong here. Come on. Here we go.
Yeah, this is the part.
So you were saying.
Yeah, this is the part I will say that I didn't anticipate. So yeah, Lakers Nation is having a field day in my mentions and the BFA mentions because I called the team cute, and you and Michael got on me about that. But honestly, like, I understand that, like, that was triggering for them. But what I said was not actually incorrect. You haven't had, like, AD having the same kind of game each game. Reeves, who's one of the role players you expected to show up, some of those role players, he had his first good game last night. All those things held true. What I didn't anticipate was Jordan Poole being a no-show.
Let's talk about
the Warriors not getting anything from anybody. And that's my point. Like, these teams right now are playing relatively close. So what happens if the Warriors just get something from one of their guys? And that's what I did not anticipate. And there would be no reason for me to anticipate that. And so I know you want to talk about that. So there's just one other point that I want to make.
Okay, go ahead. Take your time. Take your time. Since you're into confessions and admissions, sure.
Because
we got plenty of time.
You've been annoyed by Klay Thompson a lot this year and a lot of his comments, right? And one of my feed items says Steph's teammates write checks that they can't cash, right? Because you always hear Draymond talking too. It goes through us, all of this stuff. And that's great. Draymond's always going to talk. But my point is, you don't really ever hear Steph saying all of that. He just goes out there and does what he does, right? And to me, in the closing minutes, it was the starters who were on the court, right? And Steph gives you a lead in the game. And Klay comes back and takes two really boneheaded shots. I mean, there's a video floating around somewhere with like a reaction of like Steve Kerr just like throwing up his arms, right? And it's like, if you can't trust Klay Thompson or Draymond Green when he gets a rebound with Dennis Schroeder on him to like not go up, and LeBron knows that, right? Like, they don't even look because they know he's not looking to score, right? You are not helping out your star player. And I think that Klay Thompson is so caught up in wanting to prove he still has it, in wanting to all of this stuff. And I understand why he's caught up in that. But I think he's letting that override me making the smart decisions I need to make on the court. And what I always expected is that in the moments when it mattered most, that the logic would kick in. And it's not. And so that's what I did not anticipate.
Yeah, well, this is good. Okay, this is good, Natalie. I feel like we've had a breakthrough. We've had a breakthrough moment here on Brother from Another. This is a community. We're a different kind of show as a community, and now the community celebrates with you. This is a breakthrough on some of the flaws. With the Warriors. But I'm going to tell you this. You know what I really love about the playoffs? I've always loved this about the postseason. See, in the regular season, you can, and we all have this in us, we all have the ability to lie to ourselves day to day just to get by. Okay? We're going to piece it together. We'll lie to ourselves to get to another day. So in the regular season, you can lie to yourself. Hey, we got this little hiccup right now, but we'll figure it out. Once the postseason begins, this won't be a problem. Hey, once we get everybody healthy, we come together. And when it really matters, there's going to be this cohesion, there's going to be this fusion, and we'll get back to our championship selves. Well, here they are, the Warriors, down 1-3 to the Lakers. And some of the stuff that you're saying right now is stuff that has been said about the Warriors in April, was said about the Warriors in March, in February and January. They've been talking about this all season long. And I know, Natalie, not to quote you, but to quote you, at one point, pretty recently, you said that road record is fake.
Yeah, they just won 2 games on the road.
Okay, look, Natalie, the fact is, fake or not, in the regular season, they were 11-30 on the road. Now, that's not to say they got blown out by 50 in those 30 games, in those 30 losses. But there are 3 teams in the NBA with worse road records than the Warriors. They're watching just like us. Matter of fact, they're watching brother from another, and then they're going to watch the playoffs later. The Pistons, the Spurs, and the Rockets. Bad basketball teams. And the Warriors are not a bad basketball team. They're in the Western Conference semifinals, but they do annoying, frustrating,
they do,
dare I say, stupid things, especially on the road. Like last night down the stretch, you're right about Klay Thompson. Steve Kerr tried to be diplomatic. He was not successful. He tried to be diplomatic in his post-game remarks. He said, I think Klay would like to have those back, but this is what we do. We're an aggressive team. We fire it up there, and we've had a lot of success doing that. So he kind of danced around the issue. But the issue was, you're right, Klay Thompson took 2 shots he shouldn't have taken. But beyond that, Steph Curry throwing the ball away. Their last opportunity, he throws it away. Draymond, not taking advantage of it. So it was a collective effort, and it's not the first time with the Warriors.
It's not, but you know what? At that point,
that's why I think they're in trouble.
They might be, but at that time, here's the thing.
Oh, they are.
No,
but here, might be.
No, because the series is not over yet. And here's the thing, Michael. Like, it is. Like, but you know the reason why I'm not really even talking about the Steph blunder at the end is because at that point, it's you're tired, you're fatigued, you're not thinking. He'd been playing the whole game, and that's what happened. Like, you did not give him the kind of team he needed around him, and we've been talking about that all year. So yeah, he made a blunder at the very end, but that happened, and so you have to own that blunder, and he did. And Klay Thompson said, I would like those shots back, right? But Steph had been hustling the whole game. He had a triple-double. He was doing everything in his power to help this team win, and not a single person came along with him. Not one of his, except for Gary Payton II. No one came along with him to help him. And so, it is what it is. And I think that we have to be honest, when we talk about that. And I'm sorry, I can't meet you on the road record thing. I'm not going to examine a team's road record when half of their key guys are out for half the season. So yes, that version of the Warriors wasn't going to win games. And if this team does not beat the Lakers on the road, then they don't beat the Lakers on the road. But, there's still another game to be played, and we see it's one game at a time. It's not over yet.
It feels like it's over.
I felt like it was over in 2016, though.
But 2016, when they had 73 regular season wins. 73
Oh, I'm
wins.
not talking about the Warriors. I'm talking about, it felt like it was over for the Cavs in 2016.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
and then they came back. And we've already seen teams come back down 3-1.
Those are two. No, okay, that's LeBron at the height of his powers. That's Steph at the height of his powers in 2016. Those were teams that if they lost the series, and so when the Warriors lost in 2016, they lost the finals, nobody thought it's over now for this group. They had their chance. But Natalie, I'm telling you, if they lose this series, we know it is over. It's over because they've already made their decision. It is. They've already made their decision on the group, the core group is, I think you agree, is Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Well, if they lose the series, Draymond's gone, right? Draymond's not coming back.
No. First of all, no, and that's why that's the one thing. This whole like dynasty's over is premature anyway, in my opinion. Because no, it is.
No.
Well, we'll see, because they're just gonna retool. Okay. Because let me tell you, with the Warriors, it's a financial thing. So they do want to get some stuff off the books, but I don't think it's going to be Draymond. First of all, Draymond has not earned a max contract, meaning he has not demonstrated to anyone right now in these playoffs to pay him the money he is seeking. So he still has an opt-in for next year. Let's be clear, he still has an opt-in, and the Warriors are already on the record saying that they want to keep him, right? So
so he's back. So you're excited about that?
I'm not. What I'm saying is, I think this core is not. And we have the evidence and we have the data that shows that this core, this five, they are still one of the best starting five. It's not them, Michael Holley. It's the supporting cast.
Well, hold on. And that's the other thing. And I know we got
right.
company, and I'm excited. We're going to keep talking about this.
It's the supporting cast,
but you said the starting five. Who's the starting five?
Name
the starting five.
The starting five is Steph, Clay, Dre, Wiggins, and Loon. That's your starting five.
Okay, right. But see, that's the problem. See, right there. And that's part of the problem in this series. I wanted you to say that. They've already gone away from who they claim to be. Now, you told me at the beginning of the playoffs that nobody has beaten this crew. Nobody can beat them in four games.
But they've always gone away from their starting five. That's not new. They've done it all the time. They go small, and when they do that,
temporarily.
But that's not a new thing. The issue is, Michael Holley, it's not the issue with those guys. The issue is with who they did with the bench. They have no front court depth. They went all young. They went all in on on their youth. So that's what it is.
That's not going to change, Natalie.
No, but that's
not going to change in a year.
No, but that is what they're going to change. That's my point. Like what I'm saying is someone is going to come off the books, but it's not going to be who y'all think. And they're going to use that to make a trade and retool the team. But that core as it stands, you can't say they're done yet because of one loss. Well, that's to be determined next season. All of this is premature.
It's time to start thinking about that conversation. Maybe it's premature to say it. Today is Tuesday. Somebody say Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. But it may not be premature.
Even if they lose, it doesn't mean it's over. Dynasties have a loss one year and then come back. Like, that's crazy.
Oh, no. This is they have
until Stephen Curry has started to fall off and he's not playing MVP level basketball, you can't say it's done.
This is not young Joe Burrow in football saying, my whole career is the window. The window is my career.
Is Steph Curry still a top 3 player in the NBA? Is he still a top 3 player in the NBA?
You know I love Steph Curry.
I'm asking, is he still a top 3 player in the NBA?
3, you get the 3 fast for sure. Yes.
Okay, then you don't just blow it up.
But, hey, who's number 1? Who's number 2? It might be Giannis. Giannis is sitting down. He's a great player. He's sitting down because, as we bring it full circle, Stephen needs some help. He can do it. We ain't worried about him.
Yeah.
Nobody's worried about Steph. We're worried about the man who was talking to people as if he was Miles Davis. Y'all don't know about Miles Davis. He performed with his back to the stage.
This is all premature. It's all premature.
Hey, I've listened.
It's all premature.
I've listened to Miles Davis.
It's premature.
You're no
I'm telling you.
Miles Davis. Come on. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.